Okay, we're recording this video on Saturday, the 29th of August 2020. It's just gone 9:30 a.m. Chicago time, and I do hope you are doing well. So, finally finished our 14 days quarantine here in Canada, out of our little lakeside cottage, which was fantastic, but the internet was pretty crap, and every time I tried to upload a video, it killed the internet. So that's why you've not had a video for the last couple of weeks. Anyway, so we've moved that location. Should be a little bit better internet where we are here. Still not fantastic, but will allow me to upload this video. So this week got stopped out of my long dollar trade. Don't feel sorry for me. I was dumb and didn't read my signals correctly. Made money on a couple of other trades. I'll show you those, but my long dollar trade got taken out on my stops. I was kind of long dollar and short Aussie. And with the Fed announcements this week, plus the Abe, Prime Minister of Japan, announcement on Friday, I think it was, both of those caused a lot of volatility and kind of got knocked out. So this time around, the setup for that trade did not work, and I can show you why I've taken kind of effectively a short dollar position in the meantime, but we can talk about that at the end of this video. Anyway, so this is the dollar index chart at DX, so that's continuous contract of DX. Dixie, the dollar index, 1,000 tick bar chart, roughly 9,000 tick bars per trading day. So that's what I'm using to kind of back down to see the detail for trade setups. This is my usual chart setup. Right-hand side, we've got better sine wave and everything to do with price. On the left-hand side, we've got better momentum and better pro-am and everything to do with volume. So I shan't go through my usual spiel, kind of explaining these setups here, but I'll just talk in kind of generalities about this. Dollar index, I was interested in this for a couple of reasons that had potentially bottomed out down here. First of all, we'd kind of gone way past support on the highest time frame, and so I'm looking for setups. We've had a little bit of strength here. These red bars on better sine wave, that was showing that we were breaking resistances, and so that was kind of good. But we needed to have a proper exhaustion sell signal down here, which is what we had. We had some blue professional bars kind of come in. Then we kind of raced away a little bit with these blue professional bars, kind of buying that kind of breakout move here, and it led to some strength. We had both of the trending systems kind of turn on, go long with these red backgrounds. So we were above supports on better pro-am, and we were breaking resistances on better sine wave here. However, this was the tell. These blue professional bars came in 93.5 kind of up here, and I was thinking that's good because I was in just before these kind of blue professional bars kind of came in. That's maybe a gathering pattern, waiting for a jump out of this kind of congestion zone into higher prices. So you can often see blue professional bars kind of sitting there at the top of the range. When we break above the tops of that, that shows that that was professionals just absorbing everything that was available there, kind of getting ready to jump out of this kind of congestion zone kind of down here. However, it's got to happen pretty quickly, and you generally not got to give much on the downside. And then we had these bars kind of come down. That was unexpectedly weak at that point. We came back twice into that zone, and at both times we did not get through the highs here. So I knew that was weak, and I should have taken that as a clue to kind of get out. Then the Fed news kind of came in, and we had all of this monkeying around, this kind of volatility here. And I thought, oh, I've been saved when we came back into just above my entry point, and like looking good. And then, of course, I wake up in the morning, find I'm taken out on my stop here as we had this kind of move down and continued down during Friday's trade into those lows. So more exhaustion sell here. That's this move here, just showing the significance of the selling down there. No blue professional bars kind of come in at this point here, and we're below supports on these two, the intermediate and lowest time frame here. So I always say when we have breaks, double breaks like this, look for a big kind of trending move, and this thing won't be over until we see pullback to end of trend on the way down. So it's not looking good for the dollar index, and we're going to have to find another area of kind of support. So we need to see more blue professional bars coming in at the lows and eventually making us a bullish divergence pattern, and then an end of trend, pullback end of trend sequence on dollar index. So it all kind of went wrong, and I didn't read this tell well enough to be able to get out at par and just be happy with that trade got taken out on stops. Sometimes I get feedback that I don't talk about kind of losing trades enough. Happy to talk about losing trades. I mean, they feel as bad for me as they do for you, I'm sure. But yeah, this was the bad one. Aussie dollar, I was pretty well exposed to this kind of long dollar index because I was short Aussie as well. And same kind of thing on a tell. I should have it was kind of not going to work out. It's all these blue professional bars coming in at these lows. And I was short Aussie, and really we hadn't had particularly much weakness on the downside. And so I was just being a little cocky. So we had all these blue professional bars every time we came into 71, 71 and a half, blue professional bars on the downside here and here. We have exhaustion sell. We get rid of a whole bunch of sellers at this point here. So that gives us clearance for a nice move to the upside. So you can see we've broken up to not record highs, but we haven't seen these kind of prices in the Aussie dollar for a while. So up here at 73.67. Not exhaustion buying yet. We'll have to wait and see what happens Monday, Tuesday's trade. But blue professional bars kind of coming in here. So again, I was taken out at a stop that was sitting kind of above this sequence here, and that was painful too. But anyway, so there we go. We're still looking at strength in the Aussie dollar because we've not seen exhaustion buy on the upside, a whole bunch of blue professional bars to mirror these blue professional bars at the lows. We need to see some more kind of pullback to end of trends. We're through resistances on the lowest and the intermediate time frame here, so we're in a trending mode at the moment. But it'll be patchy, up and down and up and down. When we have strong days like this, we do kind of come off, have to settle back and whatever. So we'll see how this kind of works out. So Aussie dollar and dollar index, the two biggest components of dollar index. I always talk a bit about these. This is the euro and the Japanese yen. The euro chart was looking a little bit weak. We had our exhaustion buy and they sold it at kind of 19 up here, all these blue professional bars, selling it down at that point. Came back into, punched a little bit above it again, pretty strong really on better momentum, and again they sold it down. But amateur bars here, kind of maybe getting short a little bit too early. We're coming back under the lip here at 1975. And at some point, these two lines, the highest time frame on better sine wave, will come together, and that'll form support in the highest time frame. That'll give us that final pullback to end of trend on the euro chart here. But as yet, no blue professional bars in the last couple of days, so that wasn't particularly prescient. You'd be much better off taking these signals here with these blue professional bars on the Aussie into that weakness. But on Japanese yen, we did see a fair few more kind of blue professional bars kind of come in here. It's interesting, at the highs of the Japanese yen here at 96, I'd had this trade long into Japanese yen, which with a target just sitting under 96, I was very pleased with myself getting out of that kind of turning point. But it wasn't a whole bunch of blue professional bars up here taking profits. And we've come back into an area at 94, 94.50 where the blue professional bars have settled in before. So we know that's a zone that they're kind of interested in. And we've kind of come down with a down blue professional bars, and then with Abe's announcement on Friday, there's a blue professional bar sitting under here and another one here. So this is almost kind of taking off to the upside, and we've got triple supports in here, kind of getting us going. We have not broken through resistances yet, but it looks like we're going to punch through that 95 one here and turn this into a confirmed uptrend on the Japanese yen. So that's kind of interesting. Not sure what the fundamental reasoning for strengthening the yen would be, other than less money printing than the US Fed, but presumably they're anticipating some change in policies in Japan because of change in the Prime Minister. Then, because the dollar index is going down, we've got a whole bunch of other currencies kind of continuing to race ahead. British pound on a 5,000 tip bar chart. Again, 5,000 tip bar chart, close to 9 bars per day. Not unlike the Aussie pattern here, blue professional down bars hold at 131. We kind of break back up. No exhaustion buy yet on better momentum up here at the highs. So we're continuing in an uptrend. At some point, these will cross again on better sine wave. These two thick lines, which is the highest time frame, will give us a support and we'll run pullback to end of trend. But looks like the pound is continuing to strengthen. Swiss franc, same thing. Blue professional bars kind of down here at the lows on this last sequence. Amateurs getting wrong-footed down here. trying to sell it down. No, they get caught. No exhaustion buy at this point yet, and the supports come in on that highest time frame. Here, and we've got strength on better sine wave, and we're just about to break through two resistances on these two time frames. So the Swiss franc is kind of continuing to strengthen. Extraordinary kind of moves in these currencies, but that whole trade is kind of seems like it's going to continue. Weakness in dollar index and strength in all the other currencies, obviously with up and down days. So in the meantime, yep, bad trades on dollar index and Aussie dollar. However, I was also long into the grains, into corn and wheat. I was long into this move here and took profits on Friday up here at these exhaustion patterns. And the same thing on wheat. I was long into that blue professional down bar here when we got into a break above this point here, this into an uptrend. On wheat, I was into a long trade on those two, and those were very nice trades for me. Got out at this point just because they ran very hard, very fast. I don't think it's all over for the grains by any means, but those have been some nice little movers on the upsides. So net, they kind of made up for my losses on the forex trade, so I was kind of happy with those. But in the meantime, what I've done to take advantage of that weakness in the dollar index is, rather than chase a lot of these forex contracts, which have kind of gone a little bit kind of crazy, is we had some weakness in gold that got caught by the professionals. And I think gold is going to continue its run. So this is kind of interesting. So obviously gold's been this big tear to the upside. This is the activity Thursday into Friday, and you can see we had, after exhaustion sell, we were holding around the 1900 kind of mark, and these blue professional bars kind of came in at that point, and that's what was interesting to me. It was also cyclical support in the highest time frame. We had strength because we were breaking resistances on the upside, and this is held on the downside. I think kind of underneath here we've almost got a triple going on, with all kind of three time frames kind of coming together. But anyway, so we've got blue professional bars here holding at this point. The reason why we did have this weakness in gold was because you'll recall, a month ago that everything in the news was talking about this massive move in gold as it was moving above 2000, and it got led by the amateurs. And you can see here right at the highs, these amateur Rambo patterns kind of buying those highs into almost 2100. So it was a strong move, but it was being led by the amateurs. So what they did is they just jammed it the other way, freak all the amateurs out at this point. They're kind of sitting on losses because they've bought up here above or coming into 2000. They jam it back down to 1900 and they come in and they hold it at this point. So the move in gold is not over, because we've not seen an exhaustion buy patterns with blue professional up bars into those highs. That move was being led by the amateurs. So all we're doing here is just shaking out some players that then allows the professionals to kind of step in and say, yep, we've done enough kind of shaking out at this point. We can push it back up and see where we go. So hopefully that move will take us above 2100. Again, it's going to be kind of up and down and up and down. But we need to get above these resistances on the lowest and intermediate time frames, just sitting under 2000. So as soon as we do that, that'll mean that we'll start to accelerate on the upside. I suppose you could do the same thing with silver, but it didn't, to me, look as convincing. We didn't have those nice kind of blue professional bars sitting in there that had taken positions, in the last day or two. Silver, yes, we had similar type move, very explosive move to the upside at $30, being led by the amateurs with Rambo patterns there into those highs, and then they really shook it down to 23, 24 here. All these blue professional down bars. So some of that is selling, the professionals selling down at the top of that kind of sequence here. They're like selling everything. But as we come back into that zone, they're picking it back up again. And then this last little test was amateur down bars. So we've not seen any blue professional bars on the silver chart for quite a while. So for me, that wasn't as kind of convincing. They should, in the long term, kind of move together. But in the short term, we got a little bit of divergence kind of going on here. And silver does tend to kind of catch up to gold. Or that's what the activity that we've seen in the last kind of move up. So we'll wait and see. There might be some more kind of blue professional down bars to be seen before this move in silver kind of takes off, although better sign we do have strength. So there we go. not good trading, just kind of ignoring obvious kind of clues that the professionals were getting short on the dollar index and the Aussie going long Aussie dollar. And I chose to ignore those signals, and I paid for it. Luckily, my grains trades kind of worked out. And just lastly, is probably just one kind of point on the equities side of things. I mean, this move is obviously kind of turning a little bit kind of crazy parabolic on the upside. But on the 15-minute chart, just bear in mind, we had this whole move kind of start off from the 3200 level back in July with exhaustion sells and blue professional down bars here. And we had blue professional bars coming on these lows here, and they held it. And this move kind of got going with an exhaustion buy pattern, getting the move going. And I always talk about kind of symmetry in these markets, that what we see on the downside, we need to see on the upside. So having had exhaustion sells on blue professional bars coming on the downside, we need to see exhaustion buy and blue professional up bars. And every time we've come into weakness here, you can see blue professional bars coming on this retrace, on this retrace. Let me just bump that up there, on that retrace, on this retrace, on this retrace. This is the first time, Thursdays into Fridays trade, where we've seen the reverse, where we've had blue professional up bars with exhaustion buying and bearish divergence kind of come in. So we've had one little pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame on the 15-minute chart, having had this extraordinary kind of strong move kind of going on. And the market is turning a little bit kind of parabolic. So not calling any kind of changes in trend or anything like that, but it's the very first time that we've seen an inverse of these patterns where we've got exhaustion buys and blue professional up bars into those highs. So I'm just kind of watching it pretty closely over the next couple of days. There we go. So hope your trading's going well and looking forward to next week.